A ton of the talk right now in the NASCAR world has to do with the 2021 schedule. Now the schedule release has been pushed back, and a few details have come out about what may and probably will not happen in regards to changes next year. There won't be many. So, while it's not likely that the Iowa Speedway will be added to the Cup Series next year, you can be damn sure that fans will bring it up in the conversation for schedule shakeups of the future. Since being added to the Xfinity Series, Iowa has been one of the fans' top candidates to be added to the Cup. But over the last few years, that movement has faded a bit, with a good number of fans claiming that it doesn't even belong close to the Cup schedule at all. So, what is it actually? Is the track fool's gold, or is it a diamond in the Midwestern rough? That's what I want to fully understand. Looking back at the history of this track, it immediately shows why fans want it on the Premier Series schedule. The Iowa Speedway, by metrics, is another short track. We can argue all day and night whether or not it's an actual short track or not, but for a series like Cup, a track under a mile is a short track. So the 7/8 mile Iowa Speedway is a must-have for fans just from being built the way it is. It was also designed by a living legend, Rusty Wallace. He helped design it after the Richmond Raceway, and it shows as a D-shaped oval and a spitting image to the Virginia Jewel. It seats 30,000, which is definitely small for Cup, but though with downsizing, it really has become a realistic size for the Cup Series. The Homestead Miami Speedway was at 46,000 seats for capacity as the finale, and now since it's been moved away from it, has removed a lot of its seats. The current finale at Phoenix Raceway has around 42,000 as a crowd. So in comparison, Iowa again isn't out of the question. I'd say for capacity, the track gets a Cup pass, but improving on its current attendance for the lower series races would help incredibly for a Cup bid. Now, I've heard many say that the Iowa Speedway as a track has two opposite but similar sub-problems that equal one giant location issue. On one hand, people say that the Iowa Speedway is in the middle of nowhere. In a way, they're right. There's nothing around the track really but cornfields. But it is built right off of I-80 and is only about 40 miles from Des Moines, a half hour away. Now, some may see this as being too far from a major city, but again, I really don't think it is. Look at the Chicagoland Speedway. It's in Joliet, Illinois, a town that really is not special at all. The track may be named after the city of Chicago, but it's actually almost 50 miles away from it. You can barely see the track from the Sears Tower on a pristine day. With all of this being said, the Chicagoland Speedway, with all of this, has been in Cup for 20 years now. Iowa is nearly a half hour closer to Des Moines than Chicagoland is from Chicago. The other side of the location issue is that people say that there could quickly be an oversaturation of Midwestern tracks. I don't think too many of these people are from the Midwest or have even visited it because the Midwest is friggin' huge. The tracks in this area are fairly spread out, especially compared to the southeastern part of the United States. Iowa is closest to the Kansas Speedway, 3.5 hours away. It's 4 hours from Chicagoland, 5.5 from Road America, 6 or so from Indianapolis, and 8 from Kentucky. Yet, with me saying this, nobody wants to talk about how Chicagoland is less than 3 hours away from Indianapolis. I'd say overall the location isn't much of an issue, so again, it gets a pass here. Now comes the racing. Most of you know Iowa for this 2011 finish.
Here we go. 7/8 of a mile to go for Ricky Stenhouse Jr. He picked up his first career win here back in May. And all he has to do now is negotiate 2 more corners, and he's going to do it again at Iowa Speedway.
He dominated last week, Marty. Didn't get the win, but it looks as though he's got a little redemption in mind here tonight.
Oh, look out as he has a tire situation. Here comes Edwards right into it. They cross the line, and guess who wins the race? Stenhouse.
Well, thanks to Carl Edwards.
Bad commentary put aside, this moment is incredibly memorable. It also is where a large portion of the fans who want to move it up to Cup jumped onto this bandwagon. And since then, there has been a lot of good racing on the aging track surface. But where does this track stack up against both other Xfinity races and also comparable Cup races? In 2019, when you remove superspeedways and road courses, which are more wild cards for the metric, the Iowa track fits into the middle ground of the Xfinity series. Its 2 races last year had 5.1 green flag passes a lap and 4.8 in the other race, ranking these races 13th and 17th out of 26 comparable races. As for being compared to the average passes per green flag laps for 2019 Cup short track races, they would rank ahead of all the others and have 1.6 passes more and nearly 2 passes more per green flag lap. But some would say, of course, that this would compare well to last year's short track races. The package made these races almost unbearable to watch. So I looked a little further back. If you compare these two 2019 Iowa races to 2018 Cup short track races, Iowa comes in tied for first with green flag passes with the spring Richmond race with 5.1 per green flag lap. And the other race comes in second in the metric. So if these metrics are any good for anything in comparison, Iowa passes with flying colors over the last 2 years. Now, even after all of this, there still needs to be an X factor that brings Iowa up to the Cup circuit. Enter in IndyCar. For years, fans have pined for a doubleheader weekend between NASCAR and IndyCar. Iowa could be the birthplace of this idea in motion. The Xfinity Series already races there twice a year, and IndyCar races there once a year already. It's a possibility in the future that could open the door for something we have never seen before, not only as NASCAR fans, but as race fans overall. Now, I've said all this. I want to hear what you have to think. Do you think there's anything else that needs to be added for Iowa to make it up to the Cup Series, or do you agree with what I'm saying? Let me know down in the comments below. And while you're at it, leave a like on the video and subscribe to my channel for more great NASCAR content. And until next time, have a good one.